Do you miss a good curry? Well, today we've got biryani. Hey everyone, welcome back to Pop Keto, and today we have a brilliant little recipe. This is a curry rice thing where we're obviously getting rid of the rice. Hey, if you've been watching our videos and you've subscribed, we want to say a big thank you. If you haven't yet subscribed, have a look at what we're doing, check out some of our videos and then hit the subscribe button. Also, feel free to like the video anytime you feel like it. All right, so let's get into this. Now, obviously rice is a high carb ingredient. We want to do what we can to eliminate it. So what we are going to do is we're going to replace it with cauliflower rice. Now, we've done a video about cauliflower rice before and how you can use it in making a fried rice and how to treat it. We're doing it a bit different to that. We're going to start it on the hot plate with a few ingredients, then work its way into the oven. All right, so let's get this heat on. We're going to start off with 2 tablespoons of butter that I'm just going to plop in there. Get in. And to that, we are going to add 1 whole thinly sliced onion. So I've just halved that, and then each of the halves I've sliced thinly. Give that a bit of a stir. Now, we don't want to brown these onions, we're just wanting to sweat them off, and that's going to be part of the flavor base of our biryani. Now, I need to admit that one of the things I do miss on keto is some of my takeaways. So like the Indian and Sri Lankan takeaway, and biryani used to be something that we'd get all the time when we were doing it. So it's really great to have been working on this recipe, and it's just something that we can add back into our diet. So the next couple of ingredients we're going to be adding to this are ginger and garlic, so I'm just going to prepare them. Ginger, I say it's about a thumb-sized piece, but that is a weird shaped thumb. And we're just going to peel that just using a teaspoon. Now I am going to grind this up on this plate that we bought at a food festival once. You know what, I'm going to come show you. Check this out. It's got all these little teeth on it when you grind stuff on it. It just really does a really great job of it. So I'm grinding up my ginger. Look at how good that is, all juicy and amazing. And I'm also going to do the same to 2 cloves of garlic, just grinding that up. The only thing with this is you need a little brush to get out some of the bits. Okay, stir this around. I didn't mention, it's a chicken biryani that we're making today. That's amazing already. You can just smell the ginger and garlic coming off that, yeah. All right, next I am adding a half cup of homemade chicken stock. Now, if you haven't got stock that you've made yourself, happy for you to buy it from the supermarket. Just make sure you're checking the ingredients list so that it's not including any sugars or maltodextrose or things like that, just to fill it out. To this, we are now adding 200 grams of sliced mushrooms. Let's have a quick chat about liquid management in this dish. So we've just added stock, which is obviously quite wet. And we've added mushroom, which is going to release liquid into it. The last thing we do before we put it in the oven is add the cauliflower, which is also going to release liquid as it cooks. Now, because we've already got a lot of liquid here, we want to have that reduced before we put it into the oven with the cauliflower. So take your time with this bit, and we're going to get rid of some of this liquid, but we do want it for the flavor. All right, so that has thickened up. It's now at about the consistency when you drag your spoon through it, it leaves a line behind it in the pan. So that is great. Okay, let's add a bit more flavor to this. We are going to add 2 teaspoons of tomato paste. And next we're going to add our curry powder base. So this is 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne chili powder. So we're going to mix that up, but we're going to reserve a teaspoon's worth, I guess a heaped teaspoon's worth, for the chicken that we're going to cook shortly as well. So we're going to keep that much, the rest we're chucking in. And obviously stir that through as well. Wow, every time you add something to it, the smell changes, and now it's really good. Wow. So the consistency, just to show you what that's like, that's about the consistency we're at. All right, last couple of things before we put it in the oven. We're going to add, I don't have a measurement from this, but it's about 2 big handfuls of spinach. And I'm actually going to turn the heat off at this point. So the spinach won't need much heat here. It's just going to wilt in the residual heat in the pan. And if your spinach doesn't wilt, don't be too worried. We're about to throw it in the oven where it definitely will. All right, 2 last things before we throw it in the oven. We're adding about a ½ teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. And then our lovely rice replacement, the cauliflower. So that's just one whole cauliflower that we've put through the food processor. And then we stir it through. All right, and just brushing down the sides to get it all together. So here's what it looks like at the moment. So we're gonna throw this in the oven at about 190 degrees, gas mark 5. All right, while that's in there, there's two more things we're gonna prep. One is like a nice little RAITA sauce, and the other one is the chicken that we're gonna have with it. For the RAITA, we have 1 cup of Greek yogurt. Now it's important when you're buying yogurt, you check the sugar content. This has got no added sugar, and it's actually one of the lowest sugar counts that we've seen on yogurt. And just for reference, it's about 3.4 grams of sugar per 100 grams. To this yogurt, we add 1 pinch of cumin. We are also going to add the juice of ½ a lemon. We are also going to add about 1/3 of a continental cucumber, and we're just going to grate that straight in. Okay, we'll give that a stir. Going to add a pinch of salt. I'm just wondering if I might have some fresh mint outside. Just a sec. Okay, yeah, so I did find a little bit of mint and a little bit of coriander from the garden. So I'm going to put the mint in finally. All right, and we just stir that through. That's going to make that very nice. All right, that's our RAITA done. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to use this coriander a bit later on. Now that just leaves our chicken. So let's get that prepared. Now I've already butterflied the chicken because we just wanted to cook it a little bit faster. So this is great if you're preparing it for a weeknight or something like that and you don't have heaps of time. And we're just going to sprinkle about half the curry powder on this side. And we're going to cook it in coconut oil. So I'm doing about a tablespoon. So we're just warming up the pan now in preparation to cook the chicken. We've got the coconut oil in there. We're going to put the curry side down and then we'll just sprinkle the remainder of the curry on the top of the chicken so it'll be both sides once it's done. All right, let's put it in there. Now the little tender came off. As I said, we're just going to sprinkle the rest of the curry powder onto this side. Oh, that smells so good. Right, so I flipped that, it's looking so good. Might turn the heat down a little bit. So while that's cooking, I'm just going to check on our oven. And that is not far off. All right, turning the heat off on this now. That is done. Lovely. So I'm just going to put this pan behind us and bring out the oven stuff. I'll give this a bit of a check. A little bit of a taste. So I've just finished recording and I noticed the camera stopped while I hadn't even finished it yet. So luckily we've got some shots of it still. After this, I went into cutting the chicken and I explained that chicken, like most meats, wants to rest just a little bit before we cut it up. So I had it rest for a little while. And then when you cut meats, try cutting it across the grain. It just makes it more tender. So with the chicken cut up, really it was just a case of assembling it. So first I started with a bit of the biryani down the bottom, topped it with some of the chicken, drizzled some of the RAITA around, and you know what? A squeeze of lemon just before serving this would make it amazing. So I've put a piece of lemon in there as well. And so really that just leaves the tasting. A bit of a spoonful with everything on it. Oh, that's good. That RAITA is excellent. Glad I added that mint in there. Now, if you wanted it a little bit hotter, you could add a bit more of the cayenne pepper or even a few chili flakes, but that is really good. That is so enjoyable. I know our family loves it. So have a go at making this, take a photo, share it on the gram, and if you do, make sure you tag us in it, and we might be able to share your photo. So really, that's it for this week. Feel free to share the video on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, everyone.